Thank you, Dan. Good evening once again. And both of these sides, Wigan Athletic and Bristol City, always tend to be under the radar in the Championship with so many massive clubs with Premier League ambitions. But if either side win tonight, they will be among the early season contenders. It is 8th against 5th in the table, and the winner will go 3rd. And if Bristol City enjoyed a big enough victory, they could go above Middlesbrough into 2nd place as well. Wigan, of course, have been the yo-yo side in the EFL over the past few seasons, bobbing between the bottom of the Championship and the top of League One. But Paul Cook, of course, back on familiar territory, has taken Wigan back into the Championship, and they look much more solid this time around. Bristol City, of course, enjoyed a fantastic opening half to last season, beating Manchester United in the League Cup, going all the way to the semi-finals before things fell away when a playoff challenge looked to be a realistic possibility. But now they, like Wigan, have maybe surprised many by starting this season well, and they have an opportunity to put themselves back among the big boys here with a win tonight. A reminder of the two sides: one change for Wigan. Will Grigg is unavailable following a knock which he received in the game against Hull, which they won 2-1 here on Tuesday. So Joe Garner, signed from Ipswich, makes his first league start. It is Walton in goal, James, Dunkley, Kipra and Robinson, Evans and Morsey, Windes, Powell and James, with Garner on the bench. Garner up front rather. On the bench, Owen Evans the goalkeeper, Callum Connolly, Nathan Byrne, Darren Gibson, Cal Naismith, Gary Roberts and Leo da Silva Lopez. For Bristol City, they were blown away by West Bromwich Albion in the first half of their match at the Hawthorns. They were 3 goals down before half-time. They eventually lost 3-2, and from that performance, Watkins, O'Dowda and Taylor are all dropped to the bench. Eliasson, Patterson and Zizou come in. It's Menpar in goal, Hunt, Callas, Webster and Kelly, Eliasson, Brownhill, Pack and Patterson, Vyman and Zizou. On the bench, O'Leary, Da Silva, Baker, Taylor, O'Dowda, Walsh and Watkins. So we heard before kick-off, Neil, Bristol City seem to have more depth this season, and maybe there's a feeling in the West Country that if they can make the sort of progress they did up till about the end of December last year, they could go a bit further. And you look at their bench, and that does indicate depth.
Yeah, that's right, and it's definitely an important facet of this season going forward now for Bristol City. And what that leads to as well is good competition for places.
And as for Wigan, we've talked about, of course, missing Will Grigg, but Joe Garner's a good player to come in, and there's been some very canny work in the transfer market from Paul Cook. 12 signings, 6 loans as well, and I think he knew that the squad needed overhauling, and maybe he's learnt from previous mistakes here when Wigan came back into the Championship and weren't equipped and simply couldn't cope.
Yeah, again, I think it's important that there's that competition for places, and I think Paul Cook's realised that. They were outstanding last season, Wigan, in Division 1, and but he realises that this is a different level altogether, and he's needed to strengthen his squad, and he's done it superbly well.
It is a rather chilly evening here in the old county of Lancashire, and the BW Stadium has a decent crowd inside it. There was just under 9,000 here for the win against Hull on Tuesday. I would imagine similar numbers inside the stadium. Bristol City have maybe 350, 400 behind the goal, away to our left, in amongst a good number of weathered, empty red and blue seats. Of course, Wigan are a club who often struggle for crowds in what is a rugby league town, but there is no doubt the football club are playing their part in the Championship so far this season. Bristol City get the footballing weekend underway on the TalkSport network, the home of the EFL TalkSport 2, in their red shirts and white shorts, playing from left to right. Wigan Athletic in their blue shirts with white sleeves, blue shorts and blue socks. And Marlon Pack, the captain for Bristol City, plays it wide to this near side, and Hunt, now a Larson down the right hand side, but it's quickly cut out by Sam Morsey, who wears the armband for Wigan Athletic. He's hauled to the ground by Hunt, and the home side have a free kick awarded by the referee, Oliver Langford.
Yeah, I think he's got away with one there, Hunt. It's a yellow card in any other instance, but because it's so early in the game, I think the referee's been lenient. But what a fantastic start from Bristol. I think it was maybe 5-10 consecutive passes before Wigan intercepted, but set the stall out straight away. They've gone and been direct.
And it's a free kick on this near side, which the American Anthony Robinson, on loan from Everton, will take for Wigan. And it's hooked away by Vyman on the edge of the penalty area. And now Robinson has it again, just in front of us here. Both managers, Paul Cook to the left and Gary Johnson, or rather Lee Johnson to the right, son of Gary Johnson, on the edge of the technical area as Brownhill gathers for Bristol City, pokes it forward, looking for Patterson, but he loses out. And Reece James quickly plays it forward wide to the right-hand side. And Nick Powell, 90 seconds played on TalkSport 2, 0-0 at the DW Stadium in the Sky Bet Championship. Powell once again jabs it down the line. There's an opportunity for Dunkley to try and head towards the byline and cross, but he just run out of room in the end, and he was levered off it by Lloyd James, and it will be a Bristol City goal kick.
I tell you what's really apparent, Nigel, is both sides are playing with confidence, and that's come from a great start to the season from both clubs, and it's going to lead to a good game of football, you can see right from the first minute.
And Lee Johnson, still only 37 years of age, but he's packed a good deal into his managerial career so far. Previously with Oldham and Barnsley, of course, he always had plenty of currency going back to Bristol City after such a fine spell as a player. As his side now have to do some defending. Garner was often running down the centre, but Webster is able to play it back towards Nicky Menpar, the Finnish goalkeeper, wearing all orange, defending the Bristol City goal away to our left-hand side. Now Eliasson finding Brownhill, and it's clipped down the line by Hunt, just drifts on the rather strong breeze around the DW Stadium. Pack has it now for Bristol City, inside the centre circle, back towards Webster, the former Ipswich man. Zizou inviting the challenge from Kipra, and he's strong enough to ride it, works it wide to the far side. The target of that was Lloyd Kelly, but nipping in to make the challenge is Josh Windass, and it will be a throw in to Bristol City, midway inside the Wigan half on the far side there left. James will take it in towards Brownhill, back on familiar territory, the former Preston North End midfielder. He's unable to work it forward, so Bristol City are forced back deep inside their own half. And Thomas Callas, on loan from Chelsea, with a long ball forward. It's controlled by Robinson, but he invited Eliasson to make the challenge. But in the end, Wigan are able to play it forward, and then Garner wrestled to the turf by Callas, and Garner gives a few inches away to the Czech international, but Callas taking no chances with a sort of challenge which would have been appreciated in a Super League game here.
Yeah, he did brilliant there, Garner. Just run the line really well and got his body and made it difficult for Callas. He forces the foul. It gives Wigan a free kick in a good position here on the left-hand side.
And Lee Evans will take it, the man on loan from Sheffield United. He was at Wolves at the start of last season, but found chances few and far between in the eventual champions. Evans with a deep free kick into the area, and Menpar came for it, then stopped and did nothing, and was happy to see the ball drift over his head behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it looked like he slightly misjudged that, to be fair. I think maybe the swirl of the ball with the wind, conditions are going to be tricky today with obviously the extremes of the weather, but both sides have started really confidently.
It has been very, very stormy in this part of the world, and during the marathon journey here for me today, there was almost 4 seasons in one day, but there's been heavy rain before kick-off, and it's very blustery as well, as Brownhill lofts a ball forward wide to the left-hand side, gathered well by Patterson, who whips across into the penalty area, and Walton comes out and gathers well at the second attempt.
Yeah, good goalkeeping, decisive, and it needed to be, because there were red shirts flooding into the box for that cross, but kept his composure there, the big goalkeeper.
And Walton clears downfield. It's flicked on by Garner, looking for the run of Jacobs on this near side, but it's hooked out of play by Hunt, and it will be a throw-in for Wigan, which Robinson will take. 5 minutes played at the DW Stadium on TalkSport 2. 0-0 in the match between 8th and 5th in the championship table at the start of the weekend. Robinson once again showing far too much of that to Eliasson, and the young Swede will bring it forward, but Robinson is very quick, but his back pass could play in Weimann, and Weimann is inside the area beyond Kipra, and Kipra does superbly well to recover, coming from behind to make the challenge. Weimann went down looking for a penalty, and those appeals were quickly waved away by Oliver Langford.
I tell you what, Nigel, that's a striker playing with confidence, because he reads that poor back pass and he's onto it like a shot. But Kipra does ever so well, doesn't foul his man, but manages to clear the danger.
And Cedric Kipra, the Ivorian, signed from Motherwell, with a goal-saving challenge there, because Andreas Weimann, in prime form, as Neil Redfern was saying, 5 goals already this season, and 4 of those have come away from home. And he should have scored, really.
Yeah, I mean, he did the right thing. He cut across Kipra and got his body in to force the foul, but so astute the defender that he took the ball cleanly.
6.5 minutes played. Now Windass will chase an errant ball across the Bristol City penalty area, but Lloyd James gets there first to clear down the left, and Patterson pirouettes neatly to evade the challenge on the far side of Reece James. The early ball forward for Zizou, and he had to be offside, and the flag belatedly is lofted. And Bristol City again finding space in behind, and if Wigan continue to play a high line like that, they could be caught out.
It was brilliant play by Patterson initially. Twisted and turned and lost his marker, travelled 10-15 yards towards the halfway line and just slid that ball in behind the Wigan back four. And the Bristol City strikers are looking for it. They need to be careful, Wigan, how high they keep the line.
We have a fantastic view here at the DW Stadium, halfway up the main stand, very close to the pitch, and we can see Jacobs coming forward now. He goes down inside the penalty area under a heavy challenge. The penalty appeals are weaved away. Evans looks to knock it back through for Powell. It was overhit and it's gone behind for a goal kick, and that penalty appeal for Wigan maybe had more weight behind it.
Yeah, I've seen him given. He's still in control of the ball as he cuts inside, and it's a reckless challenge, and the referee waves play on, and Bristol City get away with one there.
And Marlon Pack, who has been at Bristol City for so many years now, £100,000, very well spent. When they bought him from Cheltenham back in 2013, he's really risen with the team from the third tier of English football and thrived at this level. As James plays it back towards Webster, who was wearing the number 4 shirt, vacated by Aidan Flint at the end of last season. Of course, Bristol City sold Flint, Bobby Reid and Joe Bryant for a combined fee of £23 million during the summer. Really ripped out the heart of the side, which performed so well for much of the previous campaign. But Lee Johnson, rather like his opposite number tonight, has done some decent work inside the market. Now Weimann almost picks up a loose ball inside the Wigan penalty area, but Robinson was alert to the danger and clears up towards the halfway line. Garner unable to get there before Callas, but Callas's ball across the field is nodded down by Powell, who quickly plays it forward wide to the right hand side, and Josh Windass, his dad Dean, scored the winning goal for Hull against Bristol City in the playoff final to reach the Premier League 10 years ago. Now Mawson, the Egyptian who wears the captain's armband for Wigan. Powell wide towards this near side, and Robinson once again. It needs to be a good cross. It's lofted in looking for Garner. Rising to head the ball away is Callas inside the penalty area. Brownhill takes the chance and gets away with it, and now Bristol City will look to break once again with Weimann wide to the left hand side, and Zizou, who will try and take on Dunkley, comes in field. It's still for Mara Zizou. He's got support from Weimann, should have used it, in the end went for goal, and it was deflected through towards Walton.
Yeah, he just had the blinkers on there, Zizou, because it's great play from Weimann. He just picks the ball up and travels, and the way to pass sets Zizou completely clear on the left hand side of the Wigan box, and they should do better.
Garner flicks on from the goal kick, and it's cleared away on the edge of the penalty area by Webster, headed infield by Weimann, won quickly by Evans, but Bristol City quickly have it back. Patterson again down the left hand side, finding Lloyd Kelly, 19 years of age, made his debut midway through last season. Following the departure of Joe Bryan, has simply slotted in the left back area, and I think many people thought that was Bristol City done for this season when they sold those players.
Yeah, but they've recruited well, and one of the things that's really apparent as the game's unfolded so far, Nigel, is how mobile the three are behind the three are behind the one up front. Zizou, Weimann running from a deeper position. He's took that 10 slot up now as Wigan's got the ball, and he's breaking from that area, and the pace and the energy to get up with Jeju is really apparent.
Well, they only got 2 points in their first 9, Bristol City, but then 4 successive wins. Queen's Park Rangers, Swansea, Blackburn and Sheffield United, before that 4-2 loss at the Hawthorns on Tuesday. James once again on the far side, goes back towards Webster, launched long downfield beyond Jeju, who was Bristol City's record signing last season for nearly £5.5 million, and he's wrestled to the ground by Dunkley, who had his arm on his shoulder, then his arm round his neck, and the referee eventually gave the free kick.
I'll tell you what, he started well, the big man. He started ever so well. Not only is he big as a target to go into, he's mobile, and he's proven a real handful for the Wigan back four so far.
2 goals in 3 games for Famara Jeju. His start for Bristol City was really dogged by injury when he arrived, but once he settled down, and when Bristol City were playing well, he really proved to be a focal point for them. And he has the ball now, wide on the far side, the left. It's his cross into the area, aimed for Webster, headed away by Morsey, and then the shot on the turn from Patterson is nearer the corner flag than the goal.
Yeah, high tariff that effort, as that's falling over Patterson's shoulder, and he tries to swivel athletically and steer it on target, but the attempt is far too difficult. But they look sharp, Bristol. They've come to take the game to Wigan, and it's just taking Wigan back a little bit.
Wigan themselves, 4 wins, 1 draw and 3 defeats so far. Sheffield Wednesday, Stoke, Rotherham and Hull have all been beaten. They drew with Forest, as everyone else seems to, and then they lost to Aston Villa, Queen's Park Rangers and Brentford. And 3 wins and a draw at home here so far this season, and but for an injury time equaliser for Forest, that would have been a clean sweep. Now Patterson looks to find Pack, but Jacobs snaps into the challenge. It's knocked forward by Hunt over the top, and eventually it is gathered by Christian Walton, who for the 2nd successive season is on loan from Brighton in the Wigan goal. 13 minutes played, 0-0 at the DW Stadium, but the game has buzzed along so far in the opening stages as Paul Cook, all energy inside the Wigan technical area. Looks a bit broader these days than he was during his playing career, but I think as a player he was very underrated. Yeah,
he's a naturally gifted footballer, great technical player, and an eye for goal from midfield. It's always a battle when you come up against him. We talked at the beginning of the show, Nigel, about Brownhill and Pack and how they deal with the movement of Wigan in midfield, and they've dominated that area so far.
And Paul Cook had an absolute wand of a left foot as well. Here is Morsey, lofted forward. Garner will chase, but Callas got there first. Now Webster has to turn under pressure from Powell, and goes all the way back towards Miempa, and his long ball forward over the shoulder of Robinson, and that will be a throw into Wigan on this near side. 14 minutes played, Wigan 0, Bristol City 0 here on TalkSport 2 with Screwfix. For the latest offers, visit your local store or screwfix.com. Here when you need us. Robinson with the throw-in onto the head of Pack, and now Jeju, who always seems to have that left arm bandage up. He's found Patterson popping up down the right. Now Eliasson with an early ball into the penalty area. Jeju challenging. Brownhill was almost in there, but the spin of the ball didn't favour him, and Evans is able to clear downfield, and Joe Garner all on his own, but he will always offer nuisance value, and the ball drops to Jacobs, and it's a good ball wide towards the right hand side. Powell will chase, but Webster gets there first, but only finds Reece James. Here is Windass now on the right corner of the penalty area for Wigan, wide towards Powell. Now Windass again. James with the early cross into the box. It's beyond everybody. Eliasson unable to really communicate with the goalkeeper, so just nods it behind, and it's a corner.
I tell you what, that's a great cross in, and it's crying out for Robinson to go and attack it, and he just hangs back, gives the Bristol City a chance to clear the ball, but good attack by Wigan.
And it's a corner which Lee Evans will take on this near side. 15 minutes played at the DW. 0-0 on TalkSport 2. And Oliver Langford, the referee, just sorting out an issue inside the penalty area between James and Garner. Evans with the corner, and it's Jeju who rises to head the ball away, poked back by Jacobs towards Evans again. on this near side. And clipped all the way across the field from left to right to find Reece James. James comes in field. A high ball towards the far post again. There's a push by Kipper on Jack Hunt. Fairly blatant, and the referee was always going to give the free kick.
Yeah, it's a shame really, because it just takes all the pressure off Bristol City. It's a cheap free kick to give away from the big centre half, but much better from Wigan going forward. Got in two great positions in wide areas. Just needs more bodies in the box to go and attack it, but it's a good game of football so far. Fast, entertaining, very competitive.
And there have been only 2 meetings in the last 15 years between these two sides. 2 seasons ago in the Championship, Bristol City won 1-0 here with a late goal from Aidan Flint, and Bobby Reid also scored an injury time winner in the game at Ashton Gate. 2 players, of course, who have since departed Bristol City, but Lee Johnson did not panic, and like Paul Corky has looked to use the loan market very productively so far. Flags up for offside as Zizou comes back from an offside position to win a header midway inside the Wigan half, and that will be a free kick for the home side. Tomorrow on TalkSport 2, Matchday Live 2 with Russ Williams on the air at noon. Liverpool against Southampton. Here's the Premier League commentary at 3 with Dance and Perry Groves. On TalkSport at 5:30, Laura Woods and the team will have Brighton against Spurs. And tomorrow, or rather Sunday, the Sunday exclusive is West Ham against Chelsea. A 1 o'clock start with Sags, Jim and Ray Houghton. A long ball lofted forward by Walton again, headed on by Garner into the penalty area, looking for Powell. The clearance is won back by Evans, and then it ricochets to find the 18-year-old. Reece James, on loan from Chelsea, down the right-hand side for Wigan. Not a clear by Kelly, but Wigan maintain possession. James once again infield towards Powell, who is always pulling the strings. He finds Jacobs, jabbed on towards Windass, a low cross into the area, ricochets off first Kelly and then Windass again and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, great defending by Kelly in the end. Stood up, didn't fall for the feints that was being produced by the wide players, and defended well. I think from Wigan's point of view now, it's important that they don't leave Garner isolated up there. They need to get bodies up with him and around him. See Powell taking that position as a second striker now, just to give him a little bit of support.
Because he can be very pugnacious, Joe Garner. Likes to play with his back to goal, and he will back into the defender and have that more aggressive side to his game. But as you were saying, you need somebody around him to capitalise on that.
Yeah, just a little bit isolated at times.
And what was widely considered by the Ipswich fans to be a disappointing season 12 months ago, he had a very good partnership with Martin Waghorn, and Garner was often the player backing in and doing that sort of work while Waghorn would work the channels. And tonight both Windass and Powell will be looking to do that for Wigan. Headed on by Pack for Bristol City, looking for Zizou, but Dunkley is able to cut out. And now Morsey goes all the way back towards Kipper. Robinson looking to bob and weave inside beyond Eliasson. He went beyond Eliasson, he was then caught by Brownhill, and that will be a free kick for Wigan, taken quickly by Jacobs, but too quickly according to the referee, who spotted the moving ball.
Yeah, just look at Jacobs on this left-hand side. He's just starved of a little bit of possession at this moment in time. He's such a live wire and such a tricky character. It's always central to good things that Wigan do, particularly in the promotion season last season, and they were looking to get the ball out to him more, I would have thought.
Tony Harrington, the fourth official, just having a quick word with Paul Cook, although it may have been the other way around actually. Here's Robinson with the early ball forward. 19 minutes played. 0-0 on TalkSport 2. Hook clear for Bristol City by Brownhill. Zizou coming back to win it from Morsey, but Morsey was stronger. Now Powell with a lovely pirouette and Croy turn to look to release Jacobs. The shot there was fired in on the edge of the penalty area, blocked by the backside of Webster. Now Zizou once again. This time he is able to hold off Powell and find Pack wide to the far side, and Kelly with the shocker peroxide hair. It's a good ball from him down the line, left hand side for Patterson. James is isolated. Patterson though looks to come in field, but James had clearly seen that trick before, and Wigan are able to clear, but it's given away by James straight to Webster. Now charging forward for Bristol City, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Square to Brownhill. Vyman looks to spin in behind Kipra, but it's back towards Webster, and now Kelly again down the left-hand side. Everything for Bristol City, it seems, coming down their left at the moment. Eliasson, unmarked in so much room, is being ignored on this near side. Now Callas, who of course was on loan at Fulham and enjoyed their promotion back to the Premier League last season. He finds Webster. There is room for Pack to play it infield towards Brownhill, and now wide towards Kelly once again. And Bristol City maintaining possession, but Wigan have a very good defensive shape. Pack will try and change that with a raking ball forward to the right, nodded on by Eliasson into the channel on this near side. Hunt with a lovely turn inside the penalty area, but an equally fine challenge from Jacobs, lunging in on the ground, but he won the ball cleanly inside the penalty area, and Wigan can clear.
Yeah, great duel between the two. He does ever so well, Jacobs. It's a long bursting tracking run to stay with his man, stays on his feet, wins the ball clean. But been some fantastic duels all over the pitch so far, so it's a really well contested game.
Nearly 22 minutes played, 0-0. Both teams looking to move into the top three with a victory here tonight. Of course, there was a full programme elsewhere this weekend as Jacobs comes forward in a central area for Wigan. Onto his right foot, fires the shot in, and not too far over the top.
Yeah, we just talked earlier about Jacobs being more central and getting the ball and having the ball and having the service, because he's capable of that type of thing, and he picks the ball up, 25 yards out, travels with it, strikes that beautifully, and it just clears the bar. But we know what such a dangerous character he is when you can get him on the ball in between the lines.
Well, he scored twice on the opening day, the first 2 goals of the season for Wigan against Sheffield Wednesday, but none since. But they have shared the goals around. Everybody is chipped in. Morsey and Windass both scoring for midfield in the win against Hull on Tuesday, their first goals of the season. Of course, Sam Morsey was sent off at Brentford, and that was a key moment in a tight game last Saturday, but it was rescinded, and he came back with the goal against Hull in the win on Tuesday. Now Jack Hunt lofting a ball forward down the left-hand side for Bristol City, but Robinson gets there before Eliasson, and it will be a throw-in to the Robins, level with the edge of the Bristol City penalty area. And not too long ago this would have been aimed to the head of Aidan Flint, but times have changed, so it's short towards Hunt, down the line looking for Vyman on the stretch, unable to control, and Kipra will shepherd the ball behind.
Yeah, they just lost a little bit of fizz going forward, Bristol City, but looking at Pack and Brownhill in midfield, they've done so well just to block up them spaces where Wigan look to attack, and they've got on the ball and played themselves, and you know they look a formidable pair as a midfield pairing. Both good physical specimens, big strong lads capable of competing both in the air and on the floor, and it's exactly what they've done.
Well, Bristol City had a fantastic start to last season. They were second on Boxing Day, only lost 3 times in the opening half of the season. Also reached the Carabao Cup semi-final and that famous win over Manchester United, but then they lost at home to Wolves, had a red card when leading in the final match of 2017, and that was the turning point. 4 wins in their final 22 games, and they eventually slid out of the top 6 as Powell swings across into the area looking for Garner. Beyond him, gathered by Miempa, and now Pack will bring the ball forward for Bristol City. 2 teams looking to play football in a constructive manner here. Bristol City were at their best last season when they were on the front foot, and when they began to run out of steam and try to be more defensive, it didn't really work for them, did it?
No, it didn't. But if you look tonight, what they've done really well, and you just highlight it there, Nigel, is they've dictated the tempo of the game. It's not allowing Wigan to get any head of steam and get going, and they're looking dangerous on the break as well.
James with a cross into the penalty area looking for Vyman at the near post. It bounced beyond him and then beyond everybody, and behind for a goal kick. But there looks to be a bit more authentic width from Bristol City at the moment, and they're using it well.
Yeah, they are, and both wide players have got genuine pace, which is always a danger for the home side, and they've got good quality out from at the moment in time. It's all centered around the midfield pairing of Brownhill and Pack. They've dictated from that midfield spot, and they're in the ascendancy at the moment, Bristol.
Wigan, of course, celebrating their 40th anniversary of arriving in the Football League. They had many attempts to be elected before automatic promotion and relegation from the non-league, and they replaced Southport back in 1978, and of course it's been a roller coaster ride since, and they've had 3 relegations and 2 promotions in the last 6 seasons. But they look like a side who won't be yo-yoing during this campaign, as Pack, challenged by Morsey, has given the ball away in a dangerous area. Now Jacobs for Wigan on the edge of the Bristol City penalty area, works it short towards Evans, and now wide to the far side, and James, the early cross from him, loops high into the air off Patterson. It's controlled on the thigh by Zizou, and Zizou will now play the ball in field to find Marlon Pack, and he goes all the way back towards Miempah, the goalkeeper, who clears downfield wide towards this near side. Hunt does well to leap and nod the ball in field, but it's gathered by Robinson, who was challenged heavily by Pack, but fairly according to the referee, and the same goes for Garner on Hunt. And now a long ball played forward looking for Windass from Jacobs, overhit and into the arms of Miempah.
See, that's the type of run that Windass is looking for. From that right hand side, it's a raking diagonal run across, and it just splits the Bristol back four. There's maybe just a couple of inches out of connecting to it, but it's a dangerous bit of play from that right hand side from Windass.
27 minutes played, 0-0 on TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL. Hooked high into the air by Marlon Pack and flicked wide to this near side by Brownhill. And here is Jack Hunt, who has spent so many years as a flying fullback for Huddersfield Town, and he's had a very good career, mainly in Yorkshire, in the Championship, a brief spell at Crystal Palace before moving on to the West Country in Bristol City. Pack's ball forward eventually only finds Christian Walton, and you can hear some urgency now from the home crowd, who want to see their team try and come forward and try and engage Bristol City a bit more further up the field. Laid back by Windass towards Evans, who will try and be the sitting player, and his ball wide to this near side, aimed towards Robinson, is glanced away by Larson for a throw into Wigan. And Robinson, who was on loan at Bolton last season from Everton, will shape to take the throw in, looking for a run into the penalty area. Jacob obliges, it's headed away back towards Robinson, who hooks it across the face of goal. 2 Bristol City players allow the ball to bounce. Here is Windass, infield towards Powell, low right-footed shot from him is dragged wide as he was closed down.
Half chance, good bit of play by Windass to skip past a couple of defenders and roll it back to Powell. He creates half a yard, but he's always stretching to get the shot away, and he drags it wide of the near post. But better from Wigan. He's looked impressive, Robinson, coming forward from left back. He's very athletic, got good quality, got an eye for a pass, and obviously he likes to get in and around that final third as well.
28 minutes played, 0-0, and more Bristol City fans have arrived since kick-off time. They clearly enjoyed the car park. That was the M6, like I did earlier on today, and a good number of St George's flags draped across the empty seats from Yate, Bucklechurch, and also Malmesbury as well. All areas of the West Country behind the red half of the city of Bristol, and it's a massive place to not have top flight football, and Bristol City at the moment look to be best placed in the long term to try and offer that. Ashton Gate is now a fantastic stadium, and they are building a decent team on the field as well. Of course, they were almost relegated 2 years ago, and but for the goals of Tammy Abraham on loan from Chelsea, they probably would have been. But it's been a steady building job, and Lee Johnson, despite the outgoings last summer, satisfied that he may have in many ways a stronger squad, if not starting 11, as Garner does well to flick the ball on for Bristol City, for Wigan down this near side. It's gathered by Jacobs, though losing out to Pack as the challenges fly in thick and fast in the centre of the field. Morsey and Garner also diving in, neither could win the ball back. Bristol City have it, but then they give the ball away.
Yeah, real flurry of challenges there in the centre of the field, and Nick Powell's showing his physical presence as well.
And the flag is up for offside, and again Callas wrestling with Garner, and as they both got up, Garner pushing Callas to the ground.
Yeah, I think Garner's just getting a little bit frustrated here by maybe a bit the quality of the ball into him, and obviously a lack of support from Wigan runners from midfield, and Callas has looked strong at the back, and just a little bit of frustration lashing out there at Callas. Little handshake at the end, proved it was all handbags.
But Callas does have a habit of grabbing Garner around the waist, and that could prove costly if he continues doing that. Now Zizou chasing along, hopeful ball forward down the left. He's done well to keep the ball in play by the corner flag, and he's won a throw-in. 14 minutes to play in the first half, goalless here, and then all that hard work is wasted because Zizou took it. It was cushioned back into his path by Patterson, and of course Zizou was offside. Yeah,
it's just a lack of understanding of the rules at some point, because once you've thrown that ball in, you've got to get yourself in an onside position, and
it's not really Zizou's fault, is it?
Not really. He's just not got to play the ball back to him. He's impressed me, Zizou. He's put himself about, led the line well, brought people into play. Don't know how much of a goal threat he is at this moment in time, but he's definitely playing well.
Well, they came in dribs and drabs last season. A couple of goals in the last week. Scored at the Hawthorns on Tuesday, what turned out to be a consolation goal, but the fact that Andreas Weimann is scoring plenty of goals shows that Zizou, when he gets the opportunity, is doing his job. Matty Taylor was alongside Weimann on Tuesday night, the player signed from Bristol Rovers, and he's often been used as an impact player rather than a starter in the 18 months or so he's been at Ashton Gate. As Jacobs has it for Wigan on this near side. Morsey, the captain, was demanding the ball in the centre of the field, but here is Evans, and now Dunkley slid into the path of Morsey down the right, but he showed far too much of that to Kelly, fouls Kelly, and that will be a free kick to Bristol City. It is 0-0 between Wigan Athletic and Bristol City on TalkSport 2 with Screwfix, proud sponsors of the EFL, here when you need us.
Yeah, I would have thought at this moment in time Bristol be the more happy of the two sides. They've not been allowed to impose themselves, Wigan, in this match so far. They've done it in little cameo spells throughout the half, but Bristol do look well balanced and accomplished and very combative.
Webster scoops a high ball forward on the far side. James will allow the ball to bounce and then just hoofs it even higher into the lights, and it's headed forward eventually by Pack, and now to play on the far side for a throw-in. And it's confidence shown by Paul Cook to sign somebody like Reece James, 18 years of age, from Chelsea, and play him. And there's a huge debate sparked by Gareth Southgate at the moment about how much time on the field young players get, and Reece James is better off here maybe than on the training field at Cobham.
Oh, absolutely. This is more of what he's going to get throughout the rest of his career. He needs more of this, and all young players do. But the bottom line is they've got to be good enough to get in. If they're good enough, then they're old enough. But definitely for youngsters from bigger clubs.
Now it's won well by Powell on the far side, breaking into the penalty area, slides it right across the 6-yard box as Bristol City were dozing. Nothing comes of it. Now Jacobs believes he was fouled by Hunt. And again Oliver Langford waves away the appeals, and Callas plays the ball right across the field towards the far side behind James, and out to play for a throw into Wigan.
I tell you what, perfect example there, Nigel, keeping your shape as a side. If Jacobs had come in from this left hand side, it'd have been a tap-in at the far post.
Now Evans on the far side, the right. Maybe thought about swinging in the cross, but holds on to it back towards James again. Windass with the opportunity, comes infield onto his left foot, slid in towards Powell, just unable to turn. Good challenge from James, and now Weimann tries to find Patterson. Morsey snaps in with the tackle, but Bristol City still have the opportunity for a breakaway now, but they won't now because James has been upended by Windass.
Yeah, cheap foul to give away, just takes the pressure off Bristol City. A lot better from Wigan though, a lot better movement, better passing, better interplay. The ball moved ever so sharp. Bristol struggling with it, but they need more of that now, Wigan.
10 minutes to play in the first half. 0-0 at the DW Stadium. And there's always a rather eerie atmosphere around this ground due to basically the lack of supporters, which has always been a perennial problem for Wigan, even during their days in the Premier League. Fans dotted around behind the goal away to our right. The largest number are in the stand opposite us as Kipra challenges Eliasson. Everyone stopped for the free kick, including Wigan players. Nothing was given, and now Jacobs brings it forward for Wigan. Comes in field into the penalty area down the left-hand side. Sways beyond one challenge, cuts it across, and it's cleared away by Kelly, 3 yards out at the far post. Recovered by Robinson. High cross in. Waiting was Powell, but it's nodded away by James, and it will be a throw into Wigan.
I tell you what, the Bristol City bench are fuming at this moment in time, because that's a foul. That's a foul, and if Wigan go down the other end and score, it's an injustice.
Now Windass slides it wide towards James on the far side, the Wigan right. He in turn finds Evans square towards the Egyptian international Sam Morsey, who was with Paul Cook during his time at Chesterfield. And now Dunkley finding Evans again. It's swung into the penalty area just beyond Garner, who tried to hook a volley on, but he was offside anyway.
Yeah, it's a great ball in. It's a fantastic ball. It just dissects both centre-backs, and he's unlucky there, Garner. Just takes a chance and tries to get a toe on it to poke it in the back of the net, but just went fractionally early, he's caught offside. But they've come into this game a lot more, Wigan, as the game's wore on. A lot more of a threat going forward.
Joe Garner, like Windass, had a spell at Glasgow Rangers before returning to English football, and he was decent for Ipswich last season. Of course, he was a very decent goal scorer during his time at Preston North End in the lower leagues. As Eliasson robs Robinson down this near side, the Bristol City right. Eliasson then goes down, and again no free kick is given, and Lee Johnson on the edge of being apoplectic.
Yeah, that's 2 now blatant fouls that's gone against Bristol City that they should have had, and also Lee Johnson's beside himself. I think he's definitely warmed the 4th official up.
But he's having a word now with the assistant as if it's his problem. Now a long ball is played forward again, and rather like his dad at times, Lee Johnson does have the short angry man syndrome, but I think he has a case.
Yeah, definitely. Both are free kicks. Obvious free kicks. One nearly led to a goal at the other end.
And now a free kick has been given to Wigan, and Tony Harrington gets his ear bent by Lee Johnson. I mean, you're a manager. What are you saying? Are you saying, tell the referee this, tell the referee that?
Well, emotion is the initial thing, because it's so obvious, it's so blatant. I mean, you look at him now, he's explaining himself. He's calmed down a little bit and he's more rational, but when it's so, I mean, listen, it's a tight game, there's nothing in it. If that leads to a goal to Wigan, then you would be beside yourself.
Kipra wide towards this near side, the left for Wigan, and Robinson. The early ball played forward. Jacobs will chase. Brownhill gets his body between Jacobs and the ball, and now Bristol City can bring the ball clear on this near side. Not a huge amount of movement in field, so he finds Jack Hunt, who was a summer signing from Sheffield Wednesday. He finds Zizou, but Zizou was looking for the earlier pass inside. It went to the outside, so as a result Robinson could make the challenge, and it's a throw into Wigan on halfway.
Yeah, and Hunt's making the point to Zizou that he needs to come off so he can get it to him and into his feet, and he's stood waiting for the ball there, Zizou, and it gets intercepted.
Now Morsey wide to the far side, and Shea Dunkley. It's a poor ball forward from him though, straight towards Brownhill, and Pack and Webster will shuttle passes between them before Lloyd James gathers down the left. An excellent pass from him to find Vyman, often running towards the Wigan Athletic goal. Spread wide to the right, and Hunt will try and control and come in field, then has to go on the outside. Powell is back to make the challenge, but Hunt has found Pack. A high cross in from him. Zizou with the volley, and it's some way wide in the end via a deflection, and it's a Bristol City corner.
Yeah, very good break by Bristol. It's a good ball into the box by Pack, and as unlucky as Zizou gets across his mark and forces the corner. It's a hurried clearance from Kipri, and it goes out behind for a corner, but great attack by Bristol.
And Nicholas Eliasson, the Swede, will take the corner on this near side. Laid short towards Hunt on the right corner of the penalty area. Cross though swung into the chest of Jacobs, but a good ball from Hunt wide towards Patterson. The cross high to the far post, and it's nodded behind in the end by Powell for a corner to Bristol City once again.
Yeah, it's clever defending in the end by Powell, because he couldn't get the power on it to clear it beyond the edge of the box. So he has to concede the corner, but it's probably the least of the two dangers, because that would have dropped to either Pack or Brownlee at the edge of the box. So good defending from Powell.
4 minutes to play in the first half. On Talk Sport 2, 0-0 at the DW Stadium. Bristol City have a corner on the far side, and outswing it in towards the near post area. James with the header. It may have been going wide, but the second touch was off a Wigan head. Morsey, and it's behind for another corner.
Yeah, they just look a little bit vulnerable at this moment in time, Wigan. It's a good corner in, and it's nearly stayed on goals, but just need to see this off now, Wigan.
Larson preparing to take the corner once again. Mr. Langford just having a quick word with Webster and Dunkley, who then nod to the referee and then grab each other once again. Larson with an outswinging corner, flicked on at the near post by Webster, and there was a clash of bodies inside the penalty area. It ricocheted up off Kipra towards his own goal, just over the angle, and it's another corner.
Yeah, they're under the cosh here, Wigan. They're struggling to get the first contact, and they're keeping the ball alive in the box as well, Bristol City, really well.
Third corner in this sequence. Larson again in towards the centre circle, and it headed down towards goal, and it's in the end a simple save for Christian Walton. And Bristol City showing their dominance in the air there, and that will be something which Paul Cook will be concerned by.
Yeah, and they got good quality in as well. It's great delivery, and Wigan just found a little bit wanting there.
Now a very chilly evening indeed, as a long ball is played forward, and Kipra will get there before Zizou, and headed into the arms of Christian Walton, who has kept only 2 clean sheets so far this season. Wigan have tended to score plenty and also let a few in as well. His ball downfield, headed in field by Hunt. Bristol City gather the loose ball, and it's a Larson, and Morsey just lifts his leg, knew what he was doing in the centre circle, and concedes the free kick.
Yeah, too quick for him, Larson. Great feet to shuffle himself away and then get off the mark.
Now Hunt on the right hand side, infield towards Vyman, who has come very deep. Webster clips it wide to the far side, and Kelly, and now Webster again. Every single Wigan player back defending inside their own half. Kelly is quick, but has rather had the ball in a standing start so far tonight. Plays it back towards Webster, and here is Callas, and Callas, with pressure from Jacobs, goes back towards his goalkeeper, the Empire, who clears long downfield and out of play, and that will be a throw into Wigan Athletic on the far side with 90 seconds to play in the first half, and now the goalkeeper has really had a difficult shot to save, but there has been a threat from both sides.
Yeah, just looking at Lee Johnson there, looks rather frustrated that ball was on the halfway line in comfortable possession for Bristol, and ended up making its way back to the goalkeeper and then kicked out of the play, and it's like a wasted opportunity. I think that Bristol need to try and make hay here. They have been the better of the two sides. They have looked more menacing going forward, and I think Lee Johnson's point of view, he'd rather be going in at half-time 1-0 up than at 0-0 with all this good possession.
Zizou forcing Dunkley into a hurried clearance on the far side. It will be a throw-in for Bristol City, level with the edge of the Wigan penalty area on the Bristol City left. Thrown in towards Pack by Kelly. Now Kelly once again challenged by Powell, and it breaks to Evans, and James thought about taking on Eliasson, and in the end Eliasson did put the challenge in. James had to backtrack, does clear downfield, and Garner catches Webster very, very late there as Webster looked to hook it down the line. Garner came in late and high, and the referee will have a decision to make.
Well, that was a bit naughty, I have to say, from Garner, and it came under the guise of being a bit late, but I think he was shrewd there, Garner. He realised the big centre-back had to go for it, and he knew he was going to get there second, and he's definitely left a bit on him.
And that challenge has been coming between Garner and Webster from either of them, because it's been bubbling, and Garner receives the yellow card.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think it was a yellow card.
There'll be a single minute of added time at the end of the first half on Talk Sport 2. 0-0 And that's the cue for many fans to head downstairs towards the concourses. It's a very well appointed stadium, the DW. Opened in 1999, and it's seen Wigan rise from the third division to the Premier League, and then back again, and then back into the Championship. Robinson has his shirt pulled by Patterson around the neck, but he's strong enough to ride that, and now plays it wide to the far side, and Windass infield to Evans. Evans will spin, and it's a ball wide to the right hand side, and Reece James, and Evans with the early ball forward, looking for Windass, headed away by Webster into the left back area. Kelly will control, and Kelly's clearance hits Windass, rebounds back over his head, and it's out for a throw-in. And that's half time, and there is muted applause from the Wigan supporters, because at times, Neil Redfern, they've been second best.
Yeah, they have, and I think that Bristol will be happy with that. As a way performance goes, as controlling possession and dictating play, that's as good as you'll get, and just lacked a cutting edge at times, Bristol, to make it the perfect away performance, but they've just laboured a little bit here, Wigan.
First half of ifs and buts and maybes so far. It is Wigan Athletic 0, Bristol City 0. And Wigan will start that quest for a goal by starting the second half. Nick Powell, who was a rather peripheral figure at times for a player of his quality, is over the ball. And Wigan in their blue shirts with white shorts and blue socks. Bristol City in red and white tonight. And those who have made the long journey up, a difficult journey on a Friday night from the West Country to the west of Lancashire, will be hoping for a bit more entertainment in the second half. That's not to say that there weren't moments of quality, but at the same time, neither goalkeeper has really been worked too hard. And Paul Cook just having a word with our television colleagues, wondering why we can't get the second half underway, and he just walks over to the man from Sky and says, look, we're all here, let's get going. But clearly they are still talking upstairs, and at the moment we will have to wait for the start of the second half. And if you're a player, particularly on a night like tonight, Neil, it doesn't help you, does it?
No, it doesn't, because they want to get on with the action, you can see that.
Well, eventually they get the signal, and the game is back underway once again. Wigan playing from left to right towards the bulk of their supporters in the stand away to our right hand side, the south stand at the DW Stadium. The Wigan team: Walton in goal, James, Dunkley, Kipra and Robinson, Evans and Morsey, Windass, Powell, Jacobs and Gardner. Bristol City: Miampire in goal, Hunt, Callas, Webster and Kelly, Larson, Brownhill, Pack and Patterson, Vyman playing off Zizou. And it's Wigan coming forward now in the opening seconds of the second half, but Windass with the ball in field doesn't pick out the run inside, and it's cleared by Bristol City. And now Morsey is fouled by Pack, and the home side will have a free kick on the far side, their left. And there have just been one or two niggly fouls at times, and Lee Evans will take this free kick for the home side. And neither Nicky Miempa or Christian Walton have really had a shot to save in either penalty area. Powell going to ground. The referee was looking for the guidance from the assistant referee on this near side. There was an arm on the shoulder from Kelly, and now the assistant raises his flag, and Wigan have a free kick in a dangerous area on the right corner of the penalty area.
Yeah, just watch Lee Johnson there. He feels like the whole world's against him with these refereeing decisions, and it's the linesman that gives the free kick. It looked like a free kick to me, to be honest with you. Powell forced his way in and forced the error from the defender. It's a good position this for Wigan.
Reece James is over the free kick. Eliasson is the only player in the Bristol City wall. There's some pushing and pulling going on once again. James floated in towards that near post area. Almost an own goal, was it? Well, a goal kick has been given. It was Kelly who was fighting for that ball at the near post with Garner, and it was looped on by Garner and not too far over the top. And Wigan are convinced it should be a corner.
Yeah, I think they're right as well. In the end, it's good defending, I think, because he manages to get in front of the Wigan player. It's such a dangerous ball in of quality, and just shows you when you get that type of quality, then you get better chances.
Now Vyman lays it wide to the far side. The early ball into the penalty area from Eliasson for Bristol City. It's hooked clear by Dunkley, and it will be a throw-in to Bristol City. And there has been an ebb and flow to the game throughout, but both sides have found it difficult to create at the key moment. Now Brownhill, found by the throw-in from Hunt on the far side. Eliasson will try and deliver the cross. He's too cute to at first shake off the challenge of Robinson, then it spins out of play, and it will be a throw-in for Bristol City on the far side once again.
That's really been a good battle, that Eliasson and Robinson at left back. He's given us as good as he's got, Robinson, to be fair.
Now Eliasson once again with his back to goal on the far side, further wide to Brownhill. Pack, and it's a hurried pass back from Brownhill towards Callas, and Callas in the end has to go all the way back towards Mienpa, and he finds Webster on this near side, and Webster against Garner was the most intriguing battle against the Wigan central forward during the first half, and Webster of course fouled by Garner, which resulted in the game's only yellow card. Now Eliasson wide on the far side, the right for Bristol City, back towards Hunt, and infield towards Pack, who is perpetual motion in the Bristol City midfield, and it's a good ball from him to find Brownhill down the right, fired in the cross flat and hard towards the near post area, and gathered by Christian Walton.
Yeah, it's great handling by Walton, because it's not an easy ball. It's whipped in with pace, and his body's piling in on it, and he's brave there, the big goalkeeper, and his handling's good.
Cleared downfield by Walton, and a good first touch from Callas to control, and it's laid up towards the halfway line for Bristol City once again, but Eliasson unable to find the on-rushing Hunt, and it will be a throw-in for Wigan on the halfway line, which Anthony Robinson will take, another player who has chosen to move from a Premier League side on loan to enhance his football education, and he clips it down the line, looking for the run of Garner, but it's headed away by Callas, and now it will be gathered again by Evans for Wigan, just inside the centre circle. He has to go back to Dunkley, and Dunkley now with a good ball wide to this near side. James just about keeps the ball in play. Kelly goes to ground to try and win it back, but James had enough about him to ride that. Now it's played in field by Dunkley, and it was a poor ball towards Evans. All he could do was catch Vyman, concede the free kick, and Bristol City may have an attacking platform here.
Yeah, playing a dangerous game there, Wigan, when really Bristol were in a good position to go and press the ball, and that's exactly what they go and do. And there's such as Vyman around, who's a real busy character that will pinch your pocket and can get caught, and that's what's happened there. He's looked really sharp tonight, Vyman, I have to say. He's got good football intelligence, comes in little pockets of holes and plays and gets turned and gets at the opposition. I think if they can get more quality into him, he could be a real thorn in Wigan's side.
Now Kelly from the free kick on this near side. Just tries to shrug off Windass and fouls him as he does so. So Wigan had the free kick, and Andreas Vyman, at the age of 27, always looked to be a very good signing. Of course, had his time as a youngster in the Premier League at Aston Villa, moved on to Derby County, and things never quite happened for him there in a club which had so many strikers.
Yeah, and I just look at him now. I mean, he's a main feature of this Bristol side, and I think he's revelling in the fact. I think he's, everybody knows that he's a top striker. He's scored goals. He's playing with confidence.
Windass finding Powell with a header, and Wigan Athletic have taken the lead, and it's Nick Powell, their inspiration once again. Windass with a terrific ball in from the right-hand side. Powell arriving late from midfield, showing his prowess in the air once again, and Bristol City trail 7 minutes into the second half.
Well, that's just turned this game on its head. It's a fantastic ball in from Windass, great feet, works his way out of a tight situation and just curls it and feels it in behind the back of that Bristol City defence, and Nick Powell times his run to perfection, comes right round the back stick and hangs there in the air just to steer it back across the goalkeeper into the far corner. Two bits of real quality in this game. It's unlocked the deadlock.
And just when it seemed that Bristol City were the more likely goal scorers, Nick Powell pops up with his fourth of the season, scored 3 times in the opening 3 games, 15 last season in League One, and he's a player who was not really signed to score goals, but he's added that to his game the older he's got.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his movement there, it's fantastic. He loses both centre-backs with his movement. He comes right round the far post. Nobody's picked him up. And it's a quality pick-out as well from Josh Windass. But the game's real moment of quality leads to a goal.
Now Kelly with the throw-in, finding Zizou on the edge of the Wigan penalty area. Back to Pack. Pack clips it over the top, and coming around the back was Hunt on the far side, who applauds the intention of the ball, but it was overhit, and it will be a goal kick. And it's the Wigan Athletic supporters who are celebrating at the moment, leading here by a 0-0. And we talk about goals often coming out of nothing, and that really did.
Well, it did. It was Bristol City that was making all the running, that looked the better side, the more composed side. But it just shows you when you've got players that can open up and give you that sort of quality. I mean, the delivery from Windass is fantastic, and it just cuts two defenders right out of the game. And it's a really composed finish from Powell, and we know he's capable of that. And it's the difference between the two sides at this moment in time.
53 minutes played. Wigan 1, Bristol City 0. On TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL. And Wigan could be heading third in the table tonight, ahead of the games tomorrow. And some big ones tomorrow: Villa, Sheffield Wednesday, Derby against Brentford, and Leeds against Birmingham amongst them. Now Garner goes down looking for a free kick, challenged by Pack. Nothing was given, but Wigan maintain possession. Morsey spreads it wide to this near side. James with another dangerous ball in from the right hand side, and he was looking for Windass, and it was good defending at the near post by Callas just to get the foot in to clear.
Yeah, they're just starting to wobble here a little bit, Bristol. I don't think they're set defensively. I think both centre backs look a little bit at odds with one another when the ball's coming in the box. There's a little bit of discussion going on there at the back for Bristol, but they need to weather this storm because they've got the tails up, Wigan.
You're listening to Wigan Athletic 1, Bristol City 0 on TalkSport 2 with Screwfix. For the latest offers, visit your local store or screwfix.com. Here when you need us. Tomorrow on TalkSport 2, Matchday Live 2 from noon. Liverpool against Southampton. It's the Premier League commentary at 3 with Dance and Perry Groves. Russ Williams in charge of things. Then at 5:30 over on TalkSport, Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce alongside Laura Woods for Brighton against Spurs. Both those games live and exclusive to national radio. On Sunday, Sags will be in the chair along with Jim and Ray Houghton for West Ham against Chelsea in the Sunday exclusive from 1. And there are Carabao Cup commentaries coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday evening across the TalkSport network. The flag's up for offside against Bristol City, and it will be a free kick for Wigan. And in such a tight game, a moment like that could really turn this game decisively the home side's way.
Yeah, it's definitely lifted Wigan. At a moment of really good pressure and pressing of the ball for 2 or 3 minutes, and Bristol look a little bit rocked by it. You need to find the composure again, go back to that passing game, that sharp passing game that opened Wigan up.
Wyman plays it back towards Pack, and now it's lofted wide to this near side, and Brownhill, the early ball forward, looking for Wyman again, who gets there before James, hooks it over his shoulder into the penalty area. Patterson will chase, but it's beyond him and James, and behind for a goal kick. And maybe the problem for Bristol City, Neil, is that Andreas Wyman's doing much of his good work far too far away from the penalty area.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's diluting himself. You know, he sits in and around the box where you want him. He's the guy that's got the goals. Jeju just seems to have gone off the boil a little bit, become a little bit more static where he was mobile first half. They just look a little bit lightweight going forward now, Bristol. I think we're going to found the feet. I think they definitely got on top in that midfield area, and it's making a difference.
Callas fouling Garner on the far side. It was a rumbustuous challenge. Callas believes he got the ball, but Garner went to ground, and it's a free kick for Wigan midway inside the Bristol City half. The home side leading here by a 0-0, and we played 12 minutes in the second half on TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL. And the free kick taken quickly by Evans. There's a run into the penalty area for Jacobs down the left-hand side, the far side. Now in field towards Morsey, but the ball was short and it's cut out by Patterson. Vyman will try and bring it forward, but a vital challenge coming in from Robinson to win it back for Wigan. Now the long ball forward, it's Zizou back defending in the left-back area to rise above Powell, and it's a throw-in for Wigan.
It was a fantastic tackle in the end because they were away there, Bristol, and it needed that interception, that footing to stop the attack.
Powell plays it in field towards Windass, and now Powell again. Morsey on the edge of the penalty area, wide towards the right hand side, and Windass, who will drift in field beyond a couple of challenges. Low left footed shot from him, always dragged them beyond the near post.
Yeah, they just look different again now, Wigan. The goal's given them a little bit of confidence going forward. Josh Windass has been quite central to a lot of good things this half so far for Wigan, and they need to give him the ball now and get him on it.
The clearance of Bristol City is a poor one. Powell on this near side appeals for a free kick as it strikes the body of Webster, and Webster then appeals likewise as he's challenged by Windass, and the assistant on this near side has given a throw in to Wigan, and players from both sides are having a go at the assistant for not giving early decisions their way. Can't really win, really. Here is Patterson. Firm challenge comes in from Evans, who just balloons it high into the sky, and Garner will chase, and the ball has stayed in play. There was so much spin on it by the corner flag on this near side. Everybody had given it up, but Garner's first touch was a heavy one, and Callas was able to clear.
Isn't that typical of Garner though? He gives nothing up, and I think he's done that. He's felt a lone battle up there in the first half. He's had to lead the line on his own. He's lacked a little bit of support, but now we're going to get him bodies round him. They're looking really menacing.
But they give the ball away again. Here is Vyman, challenged firmly by Evans, and it's not wide towards this near side by Marlon Pack. Kelly was the target, but the youngster just shrugs his shoulders as it spins under his foot and out of play, and it will be a throw-in for Wigan on this near side. The home side leading by a 1-0, and if there is to be another goal in this game at the moment, they look the more likely goal scorers. Bristol City have rather lost their way.
Yeah, they have. They just lost that bit of composure on the ball, and Wigan are definitely causing them problems now.
And now Morsey plays it behind James on this near side, and both teams careless in possession, and it will be a throw-in, and we are about to see a double change for Bristol City. The wide players, who were both left out following the 4-2 defeat at West Bromwich Albion, Callum O'Dowda and Marley Watkins, will both be coming on.
Yeah, it's an obvious intention. He's not happy with his wide players who showed good menace, Patterson and Eliasson in the first half, but lost their way in the second, and I think that Lee Johnson's obviously lost his patience with him.
Well, it's Eliasson who comes off first, and then Patterson. So an hour into the game, 2 of the 3 changes that Lee Johnson made following Tuesday have been reversed. And I was told by a Bristol City fan before this game that he believed that he picked the wrong team on Tuesday and tonight was the right team. Just shows what we all know.
Yeah.
But also, Patterson and Eliasson have not been doing it since half-time, have they, in all fairness?
No, I thought they both looked sharp first half. Second half, non-existent, to be fair.
Now Brownhill charging forward, wide to this near side, but he runs into the challenge of Jacobs. But here is O'Dowda, the former Oxford man. His first touch, Brownhill, wide towards Kelly again. Kelly swings the high cross towards the far post. Watkins was shaping for it, but it goes beyond him and Robinson, and behind for a goal kick.
That's actually not a bad ball in, to be fair. You're looking for the opposite wide man to come in and attack the back stick, but nowhere to be seen.
61 minutes played on TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL. Wigan Athletic 1, Bristol City 0, and Wigan, promoted last season, are heading into 3rd place in the table. The games tomorrow: Villa against Sheffield Wednesday, Derby against Brentford is a huge game already at this stage of the season. Birmingham go looking for their first win at Leeds, and Middlesbrough are at home to Swansea. Now Hunt has to defend inside his own penalty area. His clearance though only strikes Garner. Here is Jacobs, tries to clip the cross in down the left hand side. and it's cleared away by Callas, and Zizou will now gather for Bristol City. It's a good ball in field from him to pick out Vyman. Now Zizou again. Vyman will spin away towards the right hand side and look to play in Watkins, who was in behind Kipra, but Kipra was able to make the interception, and Robinson will clear it downfield for Wigan on the far side. And the attendance, 10,192, 511 have made the journey from the West Country, and at the moment they will feel it's a wasted one, with Bristol City trailing here by a goal to nil.
Yeah, I can't help but thinking back to the first half, Nigel, when Bristol were really on top, that they needed to get the noses in front then, because this Wigan side have definitely lifted the game since they've come in after the break and looked the better of the side, and the most menacing side going forward, and deserve to be in front.
Zizou tiptoes away from a couple of challenges, runs into Nick Powell, and now Windass will bring it forward for Wigan. Wide on this near side, the right. Reece James is overlapping. Back towards Windass again, infield to the bearded Powell, and Powell tries to slide it through towards Windass. You could see what he was planning, but it's cut out by Bristol City, but their attempts at a breakaway come to nothing. Here is Powell again. Now Evans, infield towards Morsey. The home crowd urging him to use the width of Robinson down the left. Morsey obliges. Now Robinson breaks into the penalty area. Back out wide again towards Jacobs. Jacobs quickly closed down by Brownhill. Here is Robinson. Robinson delivers the cross onto the face of Brownhill and out for a throw-in on the far side.
Definite improvement from Wigan. Looked far more lively since the goal and half-time.
Here is Windass again to the byline down the left, and the cross is quickly closed down by Hunt at the expense of a corner.
Just seems like a lethargy's come over Bristol City, and they can't.
We saw this a lot last season, didn't we?
Yeah, it's like since the goal they can't shake it out themselves, and Wigan are definitely in the ascendancy. They move the ball about far quicker. They've been more urgent with what they've done, and they show more quality, I have to say, in the end.
We did wonder about Bristol City, whether they could sustain it last season, and the fact is they couldn't. The corner whipped in, high to the far post. Powell heads it back across the face of goal, and in the end it's nodded away by Webster towards this near side. Sliding in was Kipper to try and win it back from Callas, and again Nick Powell not picked up. He doesn't look like the sort of player who'll win too much in the air, but he does.
It's great movement again, just loses his marker, just drifts into that far post position, and the ball's actually going behind him, and it's so athletic to arch back and steer that back across goal, and realistically that should be in the back of Bristol's net.
Now O'Dowda given the opportunity to use his pace, cuts back in field beyond Evans, midway inside the Wigan half. Vyman, Zizou onto his right foot, trying to open up the play, plays a decent looking ball wide to the far side. Hunt was the target, but it was overhit and it spins behind for a goal kick.
You see, I'll never understand that. The big man Zizou, he does ever so well, gets himself turned, gets himself facing goal, he's running towards the D on the edge of the box, and he's trying to play the ball wide. Shoot, he's running on to goal, just have a goal. You know, goalkeepers have nothing to do this half for Wigan.
It was disappointing, and Zizou is a player who has sometimes looked to lack confidence in the Bristol City side. You can maybe understand it when he was coming back from injuries, but he's been brought back into the side tonight following a goal from the bench, and he's got all the attributes, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. I just think, listen, ultimately as a striker you'll be judged on goals. You've got the hardest job in the team, you've got your back to play, you're expected to hold the ball up and create and keep you in possession, and not only that, you're expected to do the hardest thing, which is put the ball in the back of the net, and you don't turn chances down when you're running on to goal. You've got to be a little bit more selfish as a striker.
66 minutes played on Talk Sport 2. Wigan 1, Bristol City 0, thanks to Nick Powell's goal 7 minutes into the second half. Adam Webster with the early ball forward now for Bristol City, and Vyman has been penalised for just pushing over Evans in an aerial tussle, and it will be a free kick for the home team, who already are not in too much of a rush to take it. And if you're Lee Johnson, you've replaced both of your wide men. What else could he do? He's got, Matty Taylor on the bench, but He's left him out on Tuesday to bring in Zizou.
Yeah.
And apart from that, he's not got a huge amount else now.
No. I mean, the only thing I would concern me from Bristol's point of view is it's changed like for like, and the system's not causing any inroads into this Wigan team. It just probably needs a change of shape just to freshen it up. Whether he puts 2 up there or 3 up and goes a little bit more direct. He's got the big man out there, Zizou. But they just look a little bit predictable at this moment in time, Bristol.
Now Pack. An early ball swung wide to the far side. Watkins will chase. The ball just struck him on the back of the head as he chased forward, and that nearly helped him out, but Robinson was able to clear for Wigan. Here is Pack again, wide on the far side, the right. Hunt infield towards the Welshman Marley Watkins, and Watkins though has to track back as Garner wins it and fouls Garner, and it will be a free kick for Wigan. And Paul Smith maybe contemplating a change as well, but at the moment Bristol City are not causing them any sort of problem at all.
No, like I said, I mean, there's been no change to the shape. It's as you were. 2 wide players replaced, basically 4-4-2 when they've got it, and 4-5-1 when they've not, and there's not too much different for Wigan to worry about. And I think that, well, Wigan's got control of the game, and the strikers are getting a little bit more joy. It's as much as you were.
Garner does well to flick a ball on the edge of the penalty area, and Powell just tries to stretch out a willowy left leg and knock it wide towards Jacobs, but he loses out. But Bristol City can't make anything of a breakaway, and it's a throw into Wigan on the far side.
Yeah, young Robinson's having a great game. He looks a really composed player at left back, defended superbly well.
Well, he helped Bolton to survival last season and may have more loftier ambitions with Wigan here. Now Dunkley with a high ball forward again, looking for Windass on this near side, the Wigan right. It's hooked away though by Kelly. Back towards Dunkley. A high up and under from him in this rugby league stadium, but it's gathered well by Callas. Clipped infield towards Brownhill by O'Dowda, and now Zizou, and again it breaks down when it comes to Zizou. Tried to flick it back infield towards Dowda, only found Evans, who was able to run it back towards his goalkeeper.
Yeah, a little bit frustrating for Bristol, because that's a great bit of play to set Zizou free in the middle of the pitch, and it's just a wasteful sideways pass that goes missing. 20
minutes to play, Wigan 1, Bristol City 0 on TalkSport 2 with Screwfix, proud sponsors of the EFL, here when you need us. Live and exclusive Premier League commentaries coming up on TalkSport 2 and TalkSport tomorrow, here on 2 at 3, Liverpool against Southampton, TalkSport 5:30, Brighton against Spurs, as Kelly swings a dangerous looking ball into the penalty area down the right, and it's scooped away at the near post by Dunkley, and it will be a throw-in. And here is a change for Wigan, and it's the goal scorer Nick Powell who is coming off, and Darren Gibson coming on. And if you were looking at midfielders, those two would be at either end of the spectrum.
Yeah, whether Paul Cook's going for that little bit of assurance in front of the back four, looks like it.
And now they've got Evans, Morsey and Gibson all in midfield. Brownhill with a high ball swung in for Bristol City, really summing up their second half, way over hit. One bounce out of play for a goal kick. Of course, Darren Gibson left Sunderland under something of a cloud. But if Paul Cook can get him playing, and Paul Cook looks to be the sort of manager who can get players like Gibson playing, he could be a real asset.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the one thing that's a given for Paul Cook, or for players coming to under Paul Cook, is that work rate and that work ethic. And if you don't do it, you stand out like a sore thumb. And I think that he's going to have to put himself about Gibson to compete with his teammates.
Callum Connolly will be coming on shortly as well. Here is Vyman for Bristol City inside the centre circle, wide to the right hand side, and Callum O'Dowda as Watkins offering the width, but O'Dowda comes in field to find Pack. Everything to his left hand side, including Webster, and now Kelly level with the edge of the Wigan penalty area. Kelly with a ball in, which was a dangerous delivery, sliced high into the air by Dunkley. Vyman with a low shot from the edge of the box, right footed, not too far wide.
Yeah, good effort from Vyman. To be fair, he's under pressure from Gibson. He does well to stay with him and put him off a little bit, but that's not too far away. But he's still looking a little bit predictable, Bristol.
Callum Connolly is now coming on, another Everton loanee, and it's Joe Garner who is going off, so presumably Windass will go up front as a very false looking number 9.
Yeah, and they'll maybe play as like you say, as a false 9 and drop in there into midfield when they've not got it. I think Garner's put a real shift in. I do like Garner. I think he gives something all the time, even if it's not his day or not his night tonight, where in front of goal it's not quite happened for him, but he's still giving something for the cause. He's chased everything that's a lost cause, held the ball up well, and I think that Bristol City definitely know they've been in a game.
Now there's a clash of heads between two Bristol City players on the far side, and one of them looks to be in real trouble, and the medical team from both sides are rushing out. It's Thomas Callas who is down. He collided with Webster, the two central defenders, and Callas is absolutely spark out.
Yeah, I think it's just one of them instances where neither knows the other's there. Runs up, there's no shout, no talking, and they both go for the same ball. Looked a quite sickening clash of heads, actually. He's still down there, is Callas.
And we have 17 minutes to play on Talk Sport 2, and the injury break is the cue for Lee Johnson to beckon over virtually all of his team to have an impromptu time-out in front of the technical area in front of us. The Wigan players are milling around in their half of the field. Paul Cook is content for them to have their say amongst themselves, but Lee Johnson needs to change something here, doesn't he? Because in the second half they have been so ineffectual.
Yeah, it's like a malaise has come over them. They were so much in control in the first half, and they had the vast majority of possession, and they actually used it quite well without looking like they were going to get themselves in front. But since the second half, Wigan have been the better side. They've just shown a little bit more urgency. They've just upped the game a little bit, and they've basically been too much for Bristol. And I think from Lee Johnson's point of view, he'll be really disappointed, because from that first half where they thought they were going to get something, it's looking like they might be going home with nothing.
And Callas is now sitting up on the far side, which is good to see. And Nathan Baker is the most obvious player who will come on to replace him, the former Aston Villa man, and that looks as though that will happen now. Baker has been beckoned back to the bench and is getting changed, and will very shortly be coming on to replace Callas.
Yeah, it looks like he's been caught in the jaw. He's back up on his feet, Callas, and he's walking across, but he looks really groggy.
If there's any concussion issue,
no, he
has to go,
and rightly so. You can't mess about with things like that. He's played well tonight, Callas, I have to say. He's looked the part. Him and Webster at the back. Just got lost for the goal a little bit. Got turned, and Powell pulled off his marker really well. But by and large, he's done his job.
And he does look rather groggy as he heads off towards this near side, Thomas Callas. And he's holding that jaw. Gets a thumbs up from the main stand here, and credit to the Wigan crowd. They are giving Thomas Callas a good round of applause as he comes off, and Nathan Baker is the final Bristol City change.
Yeah, I think that nobody likes to see players clash heads. It was quite a sickening clash of heads, but probably a substitution or a change that Lee Johnson didn't want to make.
Looking at the Wigan formation now, it's almost 4-3-2-1, but it's a very defensive 4-3-2-1.
Yeah, it is. I think that maybe what they're going to try and do is this Bristol side starts to get more and more stretched, looking for this equaliser, and they're going to try and come in little pockets and play and make it difficult for Bristol. But it's quite comfortable for Wigan at the moment.
13 minutes to play. Wigan lead by a 1-0 on Talk Sport 2 as Gibson looks to win it in the midfield area, and there's another Bristol City player who's gone down clutching his face. It was Callum O'Dowda, but really it wasn't a case of foot up, it was rather head down from O'Dowda as Gibson looked to kick that ball forward. And now Evans with the early ball down this near side for Wigan once again, but it's cut out by Kelly. Brownhill finding Vyman, laying down the left, tries to link up with Zizou, but it doesn't come off. But Kelly has it back, clips it forward, looking for Vyman, headed away by Kipper towards this near side. Vyman gathers by the corner flag. Now Kelly's delivery, wait for the cross, only finds Gibson, and Gibson with the early ball, looking for the pace of Windass, but coming across is Webster, and Webster will find his goalkeeper Miampar. Webster then rushes back as Miampar seems to just labour with the back pass, pressurised by both Morsey and Windass, before Pack eventually clears the ball downfield. Now Kelly tries to find Vyman, but Vyman just needed the ball over the top there. He was in behind James, but the pass was under hit, and as a result Wigan are able to clear. Pack shrugs off Connolly, looks for O'Dowda with the early ball forward. Wigan will clear once again now. Evans with a simple ball over the top. Two Bristol City players almost get in each other's way, and it's Webster involved once again, and this time Baker is the player who has gone down, but Webster stays on his feet and now brings the ball forward himself. And the central defender still has it, goes back towards Baker, and Baker will just lump it forward down the channel, left-hand side, and it's gathered by James. And there is no shape or invention from Bristol City whatsoever.
No, I mean it's a shame, because they played ever so well first half. They'd moved the ball about really quickly, they looked really bright and inventive, and that's all disappeared second half. Maybe, I look at Vyman, he's sort of up there. I don't think that suits him, being just up against defenders. He's better off coming off in little pockets and playing. Jesu's lost that little bit of energy and that drive. It all looks a little bit turgid at this moment in time.
And Vyman again showing his frustration as he chases another long ball forward, which will dribble through towards Christian Walton, because we know Vyman has quality, but there's no quality if he's watching the ball fly over his head.
No, I mean, he will chase it, he will run after things, but you've got to get the ball into his feet, the boy, and you've got to get him turning at people, and that's where he looked dangerous first half.
Baker's back pass to find Miampar, who will then find the angle for Baker in the left wing back position. A long ball forward from him is headed away by Dunkley, and then James will just knock it over the top again, and Wigan are keeping it simple here as they protect their lead. Jacobs will just close in on a back pass, and Miampar will clear as Jacobs goes flying into a challenge, but it's won back by Morsey, and Jacobs has stayed down on his haunches inside the penalty area, not wanting to become involved in the play, but it didn't have to be, because Morsey was fouled on the far side by O'Dowda, and it will be a free kick to Wigan Athletic.
That's a great bit of play by Sam Morsey, because he reads the ball out from the keeper and puts the defender under pressure, and although he's twisting and turning, trying to get himself out of trouble, he doesn't buy any of it. Morsey stands up strong, pinches the ball, and wins a free kick for Wigan, just to take the heat out of Bristol trying to get themselves back into this game.
Evans over the free kick, plays it short towards Gibson, back towards Evans again. A high ball swung to the far post, gathered unchallenged by Miampar, who quickly looks to clear downfield, right-footed, onto the head of Robinson, who returns it with interest into the Bristol City half. Brownhill, though, does well to scrap and win it back from Jacobs. Hunt plays a low ball in field. O'Dowda will try and open out the play by bringing it wide to the left-hand side, and Kelly. 9 minutes to play on TalkSport 2. Wigan lead Bristol City by a goal to nil. Now O'Dowda has to go back and find Baker. The Wigan press is very high, and it's Gibson who does what he has to do and just ensures the ball goes back towards the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and just as much as that is good play by Wigan, it's poor play by Bristol. We're in a good position there midway through Wigan's half, and they've got to play forward. They've got to try and find that forward pass.
Pack plays the ball in behind O'Dowda, and Connolly will just tidy up and find his goalkeeper Walton. Bristol City next in action on Friday of next week. They're at home to Aston Villa, and we'll have commentary from Hillsborough on the Yorkshire derby between Sheffield Wednesday and Leeds United. Wigan next are away at Norwich, who are going well at the moment. Another team under the radar after a poor start to the season, and then they have a home game here against Swansea in the Roberto Martinez derby, as a long ball is played forward over the top for Bristol City on the far side, and it's overhit, and they were offside anyway.
Yeah, just lost away here, Bristol. Become very predictable. I think you've got players in there that want the ball to feet and want to get on the ball and play, and the ball from back to front is just quite aimless, and it's bypassing these quality players for Bristol. They need to get back to that passing game again if they're going to get their way back into this game.
7.5 minutes to play on TalkSport 2. Wigan Athletic 1, Bristol City 0. And no real sign of a revival from the Robins at the moment. A high ball played forward, flicked on by Windass, who just pushes into the back of Webster, and it will be a free kick for Bristol City. Short towards Baker. Baker was looking for the early show from Zizou, which never materialised, but still plays it forward long downfield. Cleared away by Dunkley. Now Pack will gather, following a strong challenge from Evans in the midfield area for Bristol City. Wide towards the far side. Hunt with the early cross in, looking for Zizou, but Dunkley was too strong there, and eventually it's cleared away into the main stand by James, and Zizou didn't really attack that ball with any real conviction.
No, but Dunkley did. The powerhouse at the back, he got his body in and he made it difficult for Zizou. He's got to be stronger, Zizou. You know, you've got to really put your body on the line to get on the end of that to get the goal back that they need.
6.5 minutes to play. 1-0 to Wigan. Vyman finding Brownhill now just inside the Wigan half. He was caught by Morsey. The referee will allow play to continue as Vyman gathers, has arms outstretched as he comes across the field to say, where are the options? In the end, it's back towards Webster. Now Hunt finding Vyman again, and it's just dabbed down the line by Hunt. A something and nothing ball, which is won by Gibson. And now Wigan will look to break themselves. Evans was caught late by Pack, but Jacobs will bring the ball forward. He's got support from Windass, who is offside, and the referee, I'm sure, will go back here and book Marlon Pack for the earlier challenge on Evans.
Yeah, he caught him really late there. It was a challenge that Pack thought he had to make because they were on the break, Wigan, but it's very, very late. It's definitely going to be a yellow card for Pack.
And that's a confrontation which has been simmering throughout the game, Evans and Pack, and it finally balled over there, and it's a yellow card for the Bristol City captain. Niampa's free kick, looking for Zizou, rising to head clear is Dunkley. Now Baker, flicked on by Zizou again. Evans with a long ball forward for Wigan as we head towards the final 5 minutes on TalkSport 2. Pack will glance one forward for Bristol City, but Wigan will clear, but then Zizou wins it back, and there's an opportunity for Bristol City to come forward with Brownhill. A heavy first touch from O'Dowda, but he's able to recover and find Brownhill on the edge of the penalty area, but he's crowded out, goes to ground, almost wins it back. Vyman was in there, and coming the long way round to clear was James, and he's done extremely well to first win the ball and then boom it against Vyman behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, he does well there, James. He reads the run of Vyman and cuts him off and then forces the block, which goes out for a goal kick and relieves that little bit of pressure on Wigan. But they just need to be careful here, Wigan. They just seem to be sat back on this lead. They look like they've lost a little bit with Garner going off and Windass coming from this right hand side where he's so influential and going down the middle. Just seem to have lost a little bit of momentum.
Cal Naismith will be coming on shortly for Wigan. Made his league debut against Hull on Tuesday. Jacobs coming forward now. Here is Windass on the edge of the penalty area for Wigan. Three wait for the cross, supported by Morsey. Morsey's right foot shot, tried to cut across the face of the ball with the right foot, and it's spun high over the angle.
Yeah, it's a good effort. Always difficult skill, that striking across the ball that's rolling across you, and he doesn't really get his body around it to keep it down, but it's not a million miles wide.
And Naismith, yet another Rangers player, or former Rangers player, coming into this game, although he was more recently with Paul Cook down at Portsmouth. And Cook has now taken 3 different sides to promotion during his managerial career: Chesterfield, Portsmouth and Wigan. And he looks to have a good blend here at the DW Stadium, a team which should be closer to the top of the table than the bottom this season at least. Windass now looking to release Connolly. Connolly goes for the curler, left-footed on the angle, but sliced the ball away, the wrong way, the other way, heading towards the corner flag.
Yeah, he's just cutting across it as the ball's rolling away from him, but fantastic bit of play by Windass. Keeps the ball, holds the ball off from 3 Bristol defenders and rolls a great little 5-yard pass into Connolly's path, and it opens the goal up for him, but he can't get his body around it and get the shot on target. But good play by Wigan.
3 minutes to play. Wigan 1, Bristol City 0 on TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL. Nick Powell's header 7 minutes into the second half looks to be the winner as things stand, but here is O'Dowda. Lovely footwork from him to leave Evans on his backside. Wide to the left hand side, and Kelly's cross flicked on at the near post by Vyman and wide, and there was clean contact there for Vyman, 6 yards out, and it spun across the face of goal beyond 2 teammates and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, that's a great ball in from Kelly, and it's the first time he's missed the first man out at the near post, and he gets into that danger area, and they're unlucky there, Bristol. They've just sat back a little now, Wigan, just looking to ride this game out, and you've just got to be careful. It's only a 1-0 lead. They still need to offer some threat going forward.
And this would be back-to-back defeats for Bristol City. For the first time this season, they were disappointing at the Hawthorns in the first half at least. Lost that game 4-2. And they've been very disappointing here after half-time. Connolly for Wigan, slicing the ball over the head of Evans, but Evans does well to recover and finds Windass on this near side. Lovely nutmeg on Baker, but sliding in to take everything was Marlon Pack, and it will be a throw-in to Wigan. But they are playing out time here very comfortably inside the Bristol City half, and they will be moving 3rd in the table ahead of the programme tomorrow. And of course there'll be news of all the goals as they go in up and down the EFL with Adrian Durham, who'll be based at Old Trafford tomorrow when Manchester United entertain Wolves. Wigan have won another throw-in on this near side as Paul Cook has another word with Tony Harrington, the 4th official, and we'll shortly find out how much added time there'll be at the end of this game. A look of frustration from Kelly as he slices the ball out of play, and it will be another throw-in for Wigan. And since the goal, Bristol City have offered absolutely nothing, and they've had a long time in which to do that.
Yeah, you have to say this is good game management by Wigan. They've kept the ball in this right-hand corner away from us as we're looking out onto the pitch really, really well. They killed a couple of minutes.
Now Connolly by the corner flag, stepping over to make the challenge was Baker, and he was fouled by Connolly, and it will be a free kick. 6 added minutes at the end of this game. We had the lengthy delay for the head injury on Thomas Callas, and Bristol City will take some heart from that.
Yeah, I think they've got to know where the ball's going now. They've got to go forward quickly now, Bristol.
And it's played long downfield, and Webster inside the penalty area, the central defender, tries to poke it wide to the far side, appeals for handball as Kipra slides in to make the challenge. Zizou gathers, right foot shot from him is sliced high and wide, but why didn't Adam Webster shoot?
That was the chance. That was the chance. He was running onto his good foot, his right foot, and it opened up the goal, and he tried to roll. I think it was Vyman, he tried to roll in on the angle there. It was never going to happen. There was a defender between himself and the ball, and the chance has gone.
Wigan are still trying to bring on Cal Naismith as Walton takes his time before regathering the ball, and Naismith will come on for Jacobs.
Yeah, he's played well tonight, Jacobs. Very, very industrious, wide player. Put a real shift in for his team. Showed real moments of quality as well, particularly in the second half.
And Wigan closing in on back-to-back home wins following their defeat at Brentford on Saturday. And the Championship is always a grind, but you've got to get those home wins in early on, haven't you?
Yeah, you have, and they've done it. They've done it well, Wigan, and they've done it on the back of momentum from promotion last season. But the signings have just fitted in seamlessly, and they look a well-balanced, well-organised side, Wigan. I think they rode the first half a little bit. I think we've got to give Bristol some credit, but They definitely look more like it second half, Wigan.
Now Gibson tries to slide it wide to the far side, and Naismith, but the challenge from Morsey comes in, and it will be a free kick for Bristol City on the far side. And once again, we know where this ball is going, although Paul Cook is quick to complain that Jack Hunt was about to take the free kick from the wrong place, and the referee agrees. Miempa, the goalkeeper, plenty of height. Zizou flicks the ball in field. Gibson miscontrols, an overhead kick from Morsey. Now Gibson heads on to find Windass on the halfway line, who's having his shirt pulled by Kelly. Inexperience there from the teenager, and it will be a free kick to Wigan, and they are ticking down those 6 minutes.
Yeah, just look at young Josh Windass there. He's played well in whichever role he's been given tonight. Looks a real creative element second half on this right hand side. It's a great ball in for the goal, and since he's led the line and gone up front, he's looked just as accomplished. His touches have been good, he's chased after things, he's got him behind down the channels. He's looked a real quality player.
We've nearly played 3 of the 6 added minutes. Evans still full of running on this near side, manages to keep the ball in play, tries to link up with James, but Bristol City will clear, and now Dunkley has to get there before Vyman, and does, and the ball will bounce towards the Wigan technical area, and it will be a throw-in, which Marlon Pack will look to take quickly, but there were a few options ahead of him, so Lloyd Kelly will wind up for a long throw towards the edge of the penalty area. Baker does well to flick on, but it's cleared by Dunkley again, who was not missed too much this evening. Now Webster, was he fouled by Evans? He was, as he looked to nod the ball forward and career towards the edge of the penalty area, and it's a Bristol City free kick wide left, midway inside the Wigan half.
Yeah, just looked at Paul Cook's reaction there as that free kick was given away, because you know where this ball's going now, right on the Wigan's crossbar. He's fuming with Evans for the challenge.
2 minutes of added time to play. Pack with the free kick, clipped in and flicked on by Baker. Zizou's header was straight at Walton, a yard either side, and Bristol City would have been going home with a point.
Yeah, that had to be ending up in the back of the net. It's the best chance of the night for Bristol City. It's a good ball in from Kelly, curled in, flicked on by Zizou, and he's got to score.
Straight at the goalkeeper, 6 yards out, appeals for handballers. Pack controls, one-on-one with Windass, and now Kelly plays the early ball forward in behind Connolly. Vyman will chase into the penalty area down the left, cuts it back across the face of goal. Kipra with a vital clearance, and now Evans will hook the ball on towards the halfway line. Handball appeals against Morsey, nothing given, and now Gibson can lead the breakaway for Wigan over the halfway line, wide to the far side, and Naismith, who decides that discretion is the better part of valour, turns back in field towards his own goal, then tries to move forward, runs into Pack, and Brownhill has it back now for Bristol City, wide to the far side, and Watkins finds Hunt, has to launch it forward long again. 5 of the 6 added minutes have been played. Baker playing centre forward now, along with Webster. Kelly with a high ball throwing into the penalty area, another good cross met by Kipra. Morsey controls with his back to goal, wide to this near side, and James will hook it clear. It's returned over the top though by Webster, flicked on by Baker. Zizou will chase, and this time Walton is able to swoop on the ball.
Well, it's the first time Bristol City showed real urgency in this second half, and they've created 2 great chances. Been direct, they've challenged for things, they've flicked things on, and really this should be level at least.
20 seconds of added time to play. Windass jumping with Webster. Webster wins the header, and the ball bounces wide to this near side. Kelly tries to win it back, but the throw-in will go to Wigan, and the referee will stop play because there's a Bristol City player, Brownhill, who is down with a head injury, but he gets to his feet, rubs the back of his head, and we've gone beyond the 6 minutes of added time. Wigan have a throw-in, and surely as soon as this is taken, that will be that. James just delays, throws it down the line, looking for Windass, who flicks on. Webster will have to play this inside his own area. Long downfield from him. Kipra chesting the ball forward, finding the run of Evans. He was fouled midway inside the Bristol City half by Pack, and Wigan will finish this game on the attack and surely with the points.
Yeah, and I think that you look at the balance of play second half, that Wigan have come out and shown more urgency and shown more quality. That's the thing we talked about first half. They've obviously deserved the 3 points.
Evans heading towards the corner flag, then scoops across in, but it's gone behind for a goal kick. And Paul Cook is pleading with the fourth official to get Oliver Langford to blow. We're into the 8th minute of added time at the end of this game. Mianpar clears downfield, that's it, and Wigan are up to 3rd in the championship table. They have beaten Bristol City by a goal to nil. Nick Powell's header early in the second half, and it's a deserved victory for Paul Cook's team. Promoted last season, and now they are very much a factor in the top 6 of the championship this season. Full time, Wigan Athletic 1, Bristol City 0.